Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, we're back today to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Last night, I thought the episode was great, but there are a few things that I want to talk about. I got a message on TikTok from Mary Cosby, and just honestly, personally, I was a fan. I'm just like, I still am a fan of her on reality TV, but I think I'm like, where is your mind? I'm going to explain everything to you guys. Again, we are going live right after this at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I will pin that link in the comment section and also in the description. But let's talk about Mary Cosby on Watch What Happens Live last night. And then let's get into what the issue was. Huh. Okay. Thank you to Reality Blur. Mary Cosby looked back on the emotional scene that she filmed with her son, Robert Cosby Jr. This was after last week's emotional episode where we saw him confirming his addiction to pills. Now, following the devastating and vulnerable moment between her and her son, um, Mary revealed that she was shocked by his revelation. And she discussed his progress and she revealed why she felt embarrassed at that time and explained how her husband dealt with it. That's the whole thing of having children is you want to be able to protect them. And I just felt like I couldn't and I didn't. And I was just floored. You want your kids to talk to you and be able to come to you and talk to you. And you also want to give them the tools to be able to say no. Although the scene was heartbreaking to watch, Mary felt that Robert Jr.'s ability to be honest with her about his struggles was a step in the right direction. I agree with that. I feel like he was vulnerable in that time. And the fact that we can get there and he can say, you know what, mom, this is how it started. I thought it was progress. He said that he hit rock bottom and he's ready to change. So I support him 100%. But as for why she was embarrassed, Mary said that she wished that she learned of Robert Jr.'s hardships sooner. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's her blame to take, but I think that if you know there's, I guess the wife, quote unquote wife, is underage and they're laying in bed all day and sleeping in and they look like they're half out of it when you walk in. I think that that would be just as somebody who, like my best friend died from addiction. And I remember walking in and we were roommates in college and we went to high school together. And actually, I had a girlfriend in 8th grade and she beat her up. My best friend beat up my girlfriend, which is not funny, but like her dad passed away and then her boyfriend passed away on our graduation night that she was with for 3 years. And she kept on wanting to go skydiving and do all of these things. And I got her into college and I was putting her in all the same classes because I wanted to make sure she was going to go to class and I'd wake her up every morning and we were on the same schedule. And I feel like I really kind of took that on, but I was hyper aware and sensitive of all of that. And, as life goes on, you kind of realize that you can't really help people. You have to let them help themselves. And it's absolutely devastating. But unless you're in your own world, like there's not a chance in hell that I wouldn't know if my husband or somebody in my family or somebody in my house was not under the influence of something. And also, too, by the way, and this is not a bash on Mary, but her son got caught multiple times by the police. Like you absolutely knew. But I think that this will help people. So, yeah, I agree. I feel like he was vulnerable in that time, and the fact that we can get here and he can say, "You know what, mom, this is how it started." Yeah. She said, "It is really hard because it's almost embarrassing because at some point your child has to tell you, "Mom, I hit a vulnerable side and I failed and I wasn't able to bring myself back up and now I get high and I do drugs." But still, Mary stated that if Robert Jr., who has also faced legal issues in recent years, continues to keep things real, he'll conquer his addiction. Also, on the Salt Lake City after show, Mary revealed that because Robert Sr. went through similar things when he was younger, he was able to better understand the challenges that Robert Jr. was facing. I think that's important too. Before his mom made him go through the army, he enjoyed getting high too. And I don't have that to share with him. I can't see through his eyes, those lenses, but I do understand him and I don't judge him. Okay. As for the future, Mary hopes what her family went through and the discussions they were able to have will be an example for others. I hope that it will help someone to bring their families together and just really understand that they won't change unless their mind is made up. And if their mind isn't made up, there's nothing you can do. We still have conversations every day, and he does want to change, and that's the only way it'll work. I'm curious when, especially because they're on TV, right? So things will eventually kind of play out. But she says that she doesn't have experience with any of these substance issues or anything like that. And when I did the interview with Dan Cosby, who was a part of the Pentecostal church, Faith Temple, um, he had a different story to tell about her and her ex-husband and about how her ex-husband got pushed out by Robert Cosby. And it doesn't align with her story. So obviously that just means that one of them would be telling a lie. And I wasn't there, so I don't know. It's just two conflicting stories. But I did want to share after watching last night's episode, and even seeing last week's episode, you guys, I came on here and I like squalled my eyes out and I was saying how this just hits so close to home. And I've been championing Mary Cosby this year. I think that she's doing an incredible job of being vulnerable. And I think she gets a pass for everything, though. Like calling people fat and inbred and what did she say? Mexican gangster to Jen Shaw or something like that. Just the things like, oh, my favorite champagne is Dom Perignon 2003 because that's the year that all of there was like this what genocide or something. It's like the things that she says we get to laugh at because it's like, oh, it's quirky, but it's really ignorant. It's ignorant, but everybody gives it a pass because it's Mary Cosby, which is fine. I'm not mad at that. But also, like, I'm not going to apologize for having a thought or a feeling on it because you're putting yourself on a major platform. Listen, I get comments all the time. Some people are like, oh my God, Adam, we love you and Jason. And some people are like, I hate you. I hope you literally don't make it to tomorrow. And I'm like, wow, that's so sweet. What's going wrong in your life to send me messages like that? But keyboard warriors exist. They exist. Well, Reality Blurb and a few other places like Bravo and Cocktails came out with this. Um, saying that Mary's house is in pre-foreclosure and the mortgage is less than 100,000, hoping that means she can sell some designer duds and resolve this. And it had this document, right? Well, I was like, okay, there's the document. What's going on? So then I made a TikTok to ask people, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think happened in this moment? Do you think that they spent all of the money? Did they not spend all of the money? I don't know. So then I posted a TikTok asking, and TikTok is very short form. This is short form, but the TikTok was a minute long. And she said, your post is literally messaged me. Your post is false. My house is not in foreclosure. Lies. Please stop posting false information about me. This is lies. Leave me alone. Okay. My problem with that is when I brought up the post, I said, what do you guys think? Do you think this is true? Do you think there's any truth to it? I always open it up for a conversation saying that there's a document. The document was shared by another outlet. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to bring it to you guys because we cover Bravo. And quite frankly, at this point, even though Mary Cosby had this relatable conversation with her son, and I wish all of the healing and love to her and her family, like you don't get to call people inbred and say whatever you want and then leave me alone. No. So I wrote back, I said, I didn't write that story. Also, nobody is bothering you, and I've been praising you all season. If you don't want people to talk about you, then you probably should not have joined the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And when you left, if you don't want people to talk about you, then you probably shouldn't have come back. That's just like an obvious, like, don't put yourself on reality TV. And if you think that's like an asshole thing for me to say, then I apologize. But like, what? Am I like crazy right now? Guys, pop off in the comment section. I want to hear what your thoughts are. And don't forget, we're going live with Ashley at 12 p.m. Love you.